Okay, so today I'd like to talk a little bit about the black oak a little bit more and another option for using it. So you might have seen the video I produced the other day about my dog Cass. I'll include a link in the description so you can review that video and how we use black oak to pull out a sticker that had burrowed under his skin and was starting to become infected. And these stickers can actually travel through a dog's body and puncture organs and cause all kinds of havoc. And so it's quite beneficial and necessary to remove those stickers. Normally what people do is they take their dog to the vet and they surgically have them removed, which can have its own complications. And so what I have been doing and what the native peoples did is they made use of the plants in their area, and so I made an astringent tea from a red oak species called California black oak that grows in our area. And that quickly, it took 2 days and the sticker came out, and now the wound is healing. But today I'd like to discuss a little bit about how you would make use of oak in the event that there were no red oaks in your area, because the white oak bark is much milder, much less astringent than the black oak, and it's not really usable to pull out infections and to pull out stickers in the way that the black oak is. Even though you'll see on the internet they talk about the white oak being used that way, it's incorrect information. It's the black oak that you're looking for. That's what really has the strong astringent power. The white oak is a milder medicine that's better used long-term, internal uses and things like that. The black oak is much more powerful, concentrated medicine. And that's not to say that one is better than the other, they just have different uses. So getting to know the trees and exploring is the key. Today I'd like to introduce you to something that the white oak does produce that can be used similarly to the black oak. It's not the bark, it's something else. Before we get into that, please click subscribe and hit the notification bell. We've got a lot more videos coming out, not just on herbology, native herbology, not just on plant communication, but on meditation, on a spiritual awakening, on awareness in general. And all of it is just to, improve the quality of your lives and kind of get you out into nature and get you in touch with your inner being a little bit more. Make available information that's just commonly not known, and all in all, just have some fun. And so on to the content of this video. This is a white oak, which I discussed a bit in the previous video, and you can see by the rounded leaves, that is a white oak. The black oak will have spiked leaves, little spikes on the leaves. And this is an oak gall. These are commonly found around white oaks. And let's see if I can give you an example of, they often grow on the back of leaves, but sometimes not just the leaves. If I can find an example of one growing on the back of leaves. The ones that grow on the back of leaves are pretty small. Here's another gall. This is one that's already been crushed. It's been broken open. You might see on the back of it, there's a little hole right here. That's a hole of the wasp that laid its eggs in the tree and stimulated the tree. Now here's more of that gall. It's been crushed up. That stimulated that tree to create this gall. And so what the tree does is it perceives the wasp's eggs being laid in them as an infection, and the tree then sends all of its energies to that spot. Oh, here's another gall. Okay, there's three. You can see the hole where, again, right there, where the wasps come out. So there's some smaller holes as well. So these are 2 gulls. These are usable. Of the 2, this will have a little more power to it. This one's a little older, and won't have as much essence. So I probably won't use this one. This one is going to have much more essence. Let's see if I can find a bigger one. All right. Okay. So, all right. Here's a great one. So I'm dodging poison oak. Now that's a gull. That's a gull. And that's a real big one. And we can see that the wasps have already been migrating their way out of there. There's several holes. So this one has got a good color to it. So this has still got a lot of essence in it. Some gulls are older. They'll look rather dark in color, black or really like pale white. They've lost. Here's an example. Here's an example of a typical gull that shows up on a leaf. Perfect. Yeah, that's great. So these are all white oak gulls. And so what the tree's done is to fight the infection. And you can see the little hole there. I don't know if you can see that little hole there in the bottom where the wasps have emerged. And they're small and they don't have stingers, those wasps. Not all wasps sting like you would think. But they live in the gull until they mature, and then they emerge. And oftentimes when the leaves die, the gulls just fall off. But it's highly concentrated, whereas the oak bark, or the white oak bark, it's not that astringent. It doesn't have the concentrated value. Because the tree is trying to combat the parasitic infection, it's sending all of its anti-parasitic essence, its astringent value, its healing qualities to that infection to try and heal it, and so it's just a highly concentrated element of the white oak that you would not otherwise be able to get were it not for the relationship between the parasitic wasp and the white oak itself. And so you can find those gulls most of the year around, but generally speaking you want to get them before they fade and they lose their essence. And so what I'll do is boil up the gull, and it's very simple. You just put it on a not too strong of a boil, a mild boil, and for 20 minutes or so, and that's sufficient to pull the essence out of the gull and make a really strong tea. And now if the wasps are still in there, the elements of the wasp will also go into that healing quality. But I prefer, if at all possible, for what we need, we don't need the wasps in the gull, so I try to choose gulls where the wasps have already left, so they can complete their life cycle. They're assault on the trees. It doesn't really do much damage. It's just sort of an autoimmune response from the trees. There are not that many of these gulls on the tree, so it doesn't really stress the trees much. But it does provide a very powerful healing tool. Now you can take these and grind them up and produce a poultice, put them on injuries and wounds and things, put that poultice on wounds, infections, and that sort of thing. Pull the infected material out. It'll help things cuts and such to heal rather quickly. Mosquito bites and stuff, put it on that and it'll take the itch away. It'll also pull the toxins out. Great for tick bites. You get bit by a tick, it's potentially very dangerous, Lyme's disease and all that sort of thing. Very really beneficial to take like a black oak bark or what it would be, a red oak or a gull like this, and use them to deal with the bite. So anyway, I'm going to go on in the house and boil this up, and I'll be right with you in a few minutes, in just a second. Okay, so now we've got, you can see the tea as well as the gulls. So here are the gulls, and here's the tea I made. And so I'm just going to take a little little bit of that tea, taste test it, get a sense of its medicinal value. I boiled this up for 20 minutes. Good pucker value. Much stronger than the black tea that I had the other day. Woo. And also extremely sour, which indicates the an incredible amount of vitamin C that's in there. And so this would actually be something that would be quite beneficial to take if we have a cold or something like that. It will provide us with a lot of vitamin C, but don't take too much. The astringent value can cause you to get constipated. So relatively small amounts would be quite beneficial as a vitamin C boost. So, that was what I just took. What I just boiled up is a result of about a half cup of water mixed with boiling this in about a half cup of water. Now this is a very relatively small gall relative to relative to the larger gall. So if I were to boil up all three of these in a cup of water, it would be much more concentrated, much stronger. But it's not necessary for what we need for the medicine that we're looking for. So go ahead and begin your forest adventure. See if you can find those galls. When you break them open, let's see if I can break one of these open, so you can kind of get an idea of what they look like on the inside. So that's what they look like on the inside. You could see little caverns and such in there where the wasps used to live. Right? And this grinds up into a powder very easily and can be used for a number of things. But for now, go out and have your adventure. And click the description below and go ahead and join the free trial of the meditation course that I offer. It'll help to enhance your awareness and really improve the quality of your life as awareness integrates throughout your day. Hope to see you there.
Okay, so here's the update on Cass. I wanted to share with you some of the photos that we took over the subsequent week, which we administered the black oak. And you can see the black oak video in the link below. You can find the link to the black oak video. But we applied black oak tea to Cass's skin where a sticker had been embedded in the skin and had been overgrown by the skin, and which is a very dangerous thing because it can travel through the body. And so these are the pictures of the process, and we'll go from the first shot, which is of you can see the abscessing occur as after putting the oak tea on the skin. The next day or two, it began to abscess quite strongly. And then you can see the next picture where actually the abscess bursts. And then the next picture is you can see what emerged from that burst, what was under the skin, some kind of sticker. And then finally, about a week later, you can see that the area is completely healed over. There's no scar. There's no sign that there was any injury. It took, I don't know, maybe 8-ish days or so for the entire process. Pretty amazing stuff.